email.
Hi, friends. It's your friends, Rashi, and Caroline's going to be here in just a second. I wanted to go ahead and start the show. You know, we are also working on stories and the newscast, so she had to take a call because there's an interview that she has to do for a story that is going to be airing later today. So she will be making her way here a little bit. Actually, she's making her way as we speak, but it's just part of the whole shebang. That's what happens when you do a talk show type thing and then also the newscast, right?
Yes, I am not late. I was on a very important phone call.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So just
I
put it out
explained
there.
it to all of our friends already.
Okay,
yes,
good.
I already did.
I was on a very important call.
It's hard to do.
And I can't even do the interview because I was like, well, I have to be in here. And so I literally just threw it in Anthony's lap. I was like, you need to do this in the next 15 minutes.
Yes. Well, it's like all these things that we have to do, but our favorite thing to do is to be here with you guys and talk because it's just so nice.
I'm going to hold the mic like a podcast
You know what? I
mic.
can talk while you want to go ahead and do that or do the podcast mic. Okay. So
But anyway, wasn't late, was on an important call.
Yes.
And now we're here. Thanks for holding the show down.
Oh, no problem. What I did want to talk about was Jennifer Lopez, and she's in her self-love era. That's what she says. So, you know, the whole saga about her and Ben Affleck and how they got back together after 20 years. She was also with A-Rod. I mean, it's like a lot. So anyway, more than a month after filing for divorce from Ben Affleck, she got candid about the year that she's calling her whole effing world exploded. And how a shift in perspective led her and the Oscar winner's breakup. She said, you have to be complete if you want something that's more complete. She told Nikki Glaser in an interview magazine profile, which was published yesterday, you have to be good on your own. I thought I learned that, but I didn't. And then this summer, I had to be like, I need to go off and be on my own. I want to prove to myself that I can do that. So without mentioning Ben Affleck's name, she said, being in a relationship doesn't define me. I can't be looking for happiness in other people. I have to have happiness within myself.
Wow. It
So
took her this long to realize that? I realized that when I was like 25.
That is what everyone's probably thinking. Like, what kind of response is that? Like, obviously, here's the thing. Like, you either grow with the person and you evolve and you become one and realize that it's not all about you. And it's in the most like unselfish way, because sometimes I will say that like I didn't want to have kids because I was selfish in terms of I was like, I want my sleep, I want my this, I want my that. But then you have your kids and you wouldn't trade it for the world. Yeah. And it's also like when you're in a relationship, well, wouldn't it be nice just not to check in with somebody or have to text someone all the time or, you know, let them know what you're doing or whatever. But you don't look at it that way. No. Being in a relationship with Connor. It's just you guys do stuff together.
JLO is not 21, 22 years old.
And
she is in her 50s.
No. When
the first breakup I went through, you realize you got to be cool being by yourself. And so I was.
Yes. And I'm so tired of people who are older who are like, I'm still figuring it out. Because you've had life experiences and we are.
Oh, like as an excuse, like if they do something really just not okay. And then they're like, I'm still figuring it out. It's like, what were you doing the last 40 years?
Yes. Or career-wise. Like there's so many Gen Z. There's some that I know of that I can think of right now who are not progressing in what they haven't even chosen a career because they're like still trying to figure it out. Y'all.
Yeah.
There are so many opportunities out there. I know I'm going off on tangent here, but JLO, I mean, you've had many relationships.
And to that point, if you're not driven by passion,
right,
which thank gosh we are. I feel like we are. Like we love what we do. Then you got to be driven by something else, and that's got to be money and just a way to provide for yourself. So it's like, what do you mean you're self figuring out? Just pick something and make it work. Yeah, I know.
We're both that way.
But like back to JLO, I just can't with her anymore because she has no excuses, and to put that excuse out there. It's like, what?
What are you talking about? You have 2 kids. You've been in multiple relationships, and for those who are sympathizing with JLO, okay.
Well, we've heard from reliable sources that she carries a huge entourage with her wherever she goes.
Yes.
Like, people who have interviewed her here at the station have told us about the entourage that she brings. So maybe she does have like issues being alone. She needs to just cut the fat maybe and learn how to just be by herself.
Well, then there's people who have, sorry, were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say, you know, there's a safety issue with like people who are as famous. So like, obviously, make sure she's safe.
Yes.
So maybe like a bodyguard might have to be with her.
Right.
Understandable, but not like 16 people.
Well, sometimes people think they're a lot bigger of a deal
than they actually are. Yeah,
and they act that way.
Totally. And I would like look at it as like a financial thing too. I'd be like, why am I wasting all this money on bringing this whole entourage with me? I'm sure they're like on her staff.
Yes. And it just, I don't know. She just rubs me the wrong way when it comes to all that
Like,
stuff.
she had such a moment, like when she did like the Super Bowl halftime show, just on such a high.
Yes.
And I feel like that we've just seen like such a downfall from her. And I don't like to hate on anyone. She's gorgeous, beautiful. I think she's very talented.
Yes.
She's smart. Like, I love looking at her old videos where she's so good. So I don't know. She just sometimes is like out of touch with reality. But sometimes I wonder how you can be that rich and famous and still be in touch with reality. So.
Well, yes. And I will say, your girl, Kim Kardashian, I think she has handled all these relationships and divorces very well.
She has a lot of control, I think.
Yes.
She will not speak badly of her kid's father,
right?
Kanye West. Basically because of her kids.
Right.
So she has to just sit there like,
But she said it's just we were going in a different direction. It's something like that.
She's great at it,
like,
yeah.
It's not that I need to find, I need to figure out what be comfortable with myself.
Well, and she,
and all
like,
this
I mean,
stuff.
after her and Kanye broke up, then she got in that relationship with Pete Davis, right? From Saturday
Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Davidson.
Yeah, whatever. From y'all know who I'm talking about from
Yes.
Saturday Night Live. Like, I haven't heard a peep about him since they broke up. But,
right.
She jumped into that, and now Kim's been like, nope, just doing me. Like, she's just
fine.
by herself.
And that's fine.
She's fine.
But this whole figuring out myself type thing, I don't know. Maybe you're evolving and trying to figure out what you like. What you don't.
A lot of what JLO says sounds so PR-ish to me.
It's true.
Like, and so like calculated. Like, can you just come up with your own words?
Or just be authentic.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks highly of her if she's just normal.
Right.
But she just can't be normal.
But I think if people would just be real, I actually commented back. I posted a picture. You can see it on our Instagram of both of us, and I commented on someone. They were saying something about us being friends or whatever. Anyway, I just said it's so awesome because you're real, and I think people lack that.
Oh yeah,
that's just the authenticity.
That's like the one thing. So basically, I don't know if you got this in your email, but like Fox executives reached out to like the top social creators.
Okay.
And asked us to like fill out how we do our social media. To basically learn from how the people who are performing well on social media, they're taking all of our information. So I spent like an hour and a half filling it out yesterday. Maybe it was like an hour. It was a long time. But one of the things that I said, and you can't fake it and you can't force it, is be authentically you. And I think that people just like, maybe they know how to do that in their personal life, but once there's any sort of camera in front of them, they don't know how to do it.
Right.
And
that's a skill.
I sent examples of videos that have done so well just for me being me. Just, I'm not very aesthetic. Like, I don't have like a very artsy aesthetic, but I just try to have good lighting and just be myself. And those are always the videos that do the best.
Yes. And I will say I've always been confused about what is being me, like what is my authentic
because it's a confusing thing.
Like, what is that?
But I feel like, to your point about JLO saying like you're still figuring out, like, I understand now. Basically, when I was like 29, 30, I'm like, oh, I get who I am now. I get it. Like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And it might not click until your late 20s or early 30s, but like by that point, you should have like a solid idea of who you are.
And I think when we say who we are, just for the people who have been thoroughly confused, like I have been for a long time, in terms of what do you mean by who am I? Like, it's literally, if you were to take, and this is what has helped me, is if you were to take all the outside influences out, how would you think? What would you like and not like?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're so carefree and you're so funny and you're so
and
fun
smiley
because it's just you being the
prioritizing fun.
Yes.
That's just like an inherent thing about me is like I like to have fun.
Right. And I just think that, like, you know, especially growing up, you have all these like pressures and influences and everything that you might not feel as confident. I know I wasn't, to just kind of be who I am because I wanted to fit in somehow. So now it's like, who cares? And there's so many times, like, what was new to me, this, I'm explaining this just because it might help you out or someone you know, is when I went into the TikTok realm when Caroline started, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to like manage it. And she's like literally giving me one piece of advice, which is just do you. Just post it. Just whatever.
As long as you have the good lighting, then you're fine.
But just talk. And it's like, okay, well, yeah. And
that's what I started, because I just kept seeing, like, when I was really trying to get my TikTok to grow, people on there talking, and I'm like, well, I'm as interesting as anyone else. You know what? I need to talk more on my videos, and that's really what blew them up. People wanted to hear me talk. They didn't want to just hear trending audio.
But regardless of TikTok, a bigger picture, even just being you, like.
Well, yeah. So something that like is never gonna be me. I'm never gonna be like a Kim Kardashian type of influencer where it's like. Like, that is not me at all. Being like aesthetic with the colors. And that's okay. Like, that's completely fine. Like, having like the slick hair and like I love big hair. Like the big hair. And colorful and like vibrant and loud and like I'm not in like an aesthetic influencer. So if I tried to be that, I think that would come across really not authentic. I'd really struggle with it, and it wouldn't be me. So if I do that, it's almost like as a joke, you know. If I do like post a video or a picture where it's very aesthetic, and I'm like clearly I'm like kidding about it, you know what I mean? And I love that. Like, I love to joke around and have fun.
Yes.
JLO just, I don't know. It's like she should be the one person that knows who she is by this point. She's so successful. She's done so much. She's lived so much life.
You just don't see that much authenticity, I feel like.
Not at this point, at least.
You can kind of tell.
Yeah. So just be yourself on social media. And, well, even when.
In life.
Yeah. When we're doing the news, I mean.
I'm not myself.
Not during the hard stories. It's like, because I want to be like, I just want to give you a hug. Because that's how bad I feel for these people and these stories. And it makes me ill. And sometimes I just want to just be like, I can't.
Like, I can't, but yeah, that's the issue. Is like, I just can't be myself.
But I think on like the lighter, fun stuff and in our banters, we're very much so ourselves. And I think people see that.
Yeah.
But how can you really, like, being truly 100% myself, I would just cry. Like, I would cry for some of these stories.
Yes, like, what the hell? This guy's out on bond and then murdered somebody. Like,
I'd be like, this sicko. Like, the stuff we report on is so bad, but like, that would be showing a bias towards the story, and we're supposed to be like, unbiased. So it's kind of.
But then again, like,
difficult line.
We're evolving so much in the news business. A lot of people call it infotainment now, right? Where it's like you almost want that reality of it. Like, if you were to just say, "Can you believe this jerk?" Yeah, but I would want, you know.
You get that a lot on the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
You do.
He but really, like, that's Isaiah. Isaiah said, but it doesn't really fly for a 5 o'clock newscast traditional show.
Because that's editorializing.
Exactly. We even have to be careful when we're like ad-libbing to not editorialize. Like, it's okay to show compassion and emotion, but it's like there's always a line, and we're aware of that line, and it's always kind of like, okay.
Yes, it's tricky.
But you know what, too? When I'm watching people on national news, like in our field, it's good to like, and I think in life too, find someone that you maybe admire or relate to in a way, and maybe they're like a lot more successful than you, and look at how they're doing their job and what they're doing and what they did to get to their position.
Yes.
And I admire a lot of people, but also I'm like, I am not anything like, you know, so-and-so or so-and-so, and I couldn't even act like that on air because they're so different than how I am. Right. But then there's some people who I'm like, oh, like, I get it. Like, I kind of vibe with them because they're sort of similar with me. Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Each person's their own, and, you know, just be you. That's the bottom line.
Be you, yes.
We'll be right back. Hi, friends.
Welcome back.
Yes, we are talking about clothing for Gen Z. So, I think a lot of people have opinions on how millennials and Gen Z, how they show up to airports. I remember my dad, I know Daniel's dad, my husband's dad would travel a lot and be in a suit traveling, right? Would your parents be like that, or grandparents?
You know, I know they lived through that era for sure.
But it was like a very sophisticated thing.
My grandparents were always more dressed up though. So maybe it wasn't a suit by the time I came to life, but it was more dressy for sure.
Yes. So now Gen Z, the same generation that canceled skinny jeans, is making pajamas in the office in style. Silk and cotton sets are being rocked with shoes from heels to slippers. Fashion experts say this is comfy chic. It's becoming more popular, and luxury fashion brands are getting in on this trend.
Well, you know what? This type of trend, there's dresses that are like silk that have always reminded me of like pajamas or like a pajama dress. And so, I don't know. Some look too pajama-y, but whatever. Do whatever you want.
At the end of the day, if the work is being done, it doesn't really matter. I mean, now
to an extent, I mean, don't be inappropriate, but those weren't inappropriate. Those were just like.
Yes, and here's the thing now is I would say because we have to dress up so much every single day that when we're not working, we're bare bone. Like we're not dressing up.
Oh my gosh.
We're not. No,
sometimes,
it is
like I leave the house and I'm like, I can't believe I'm even leaving the house like this, but it's like I just can't.
That happens to me all the time, and then someone will recognize me, and I'll be like,
every time.
For real?
I know.
Like, really? I'm not.
I've been trying to like get nicer sweats and little, tops that match, but at the end of the day, I always just go for the crap stuff that I have.
Yes, and I am so against, and this might be TMI, but this is what I do. Like, I don't want to wear a bra. And I'm just wearing like a loose shirt, and I'm just, just being comfortable because we're wearing heels.
Okay,
and
here, let me tell you about this. This kind of like made me a little the other day.
Okay, tell me.
So flew 10 hours from London back to Houston, got home, showered, washed my hair, blew dry my hair, ordered food for pickup to a restaurant that I can walk to from where I live.
Okay.
So I throw on oversized t-shirt, shorts. I put big sunglasses on, a hat. I actually kind of looks like a little hobo chic vibe, okay? Walk in a restaurant, see a friend.
Okay.
Chat with the friend and this other girl that I actually know as well. Chat with them for 2 seconds and I say, yeah, we just got off a 10-hour flight from London, ordered takeout. This person knows well where I live. They've been to my house. This person runs into like one of my very close friends and tells them, oh, I ran into Caroline. She looked really hungover. Excuse me? Like, no alcohol was consumed. I literally told you that. I told you that I was on a 10-hour flight. She had her sunglasses on. She looked hungover. The audacity, get out of here. Mind your own business. Like, you looked sweaty. Like, because they had just worked out. So it's like, why would you
even
me?
Say that?
I know.
Why would you even say that?
Because I had sunglasses on?
No, but who cares?
Right?
At the end of the day, it's
my
like,
girlfriend's
oh, wow.
like, oh yeah, so-and-so said they saw you. And they were like, were you hungover? And I was like, no, I was just off a flight. And they're like, oh my gosh. How annoying. Just because I look like a hobo. I got confused.
But you did not look like a hobo. Whatever, we need new girlfriend.
No, isn't that annoying?
Yes, that's unacceptable.
And I was so nice. I was like, hey girl. I don't know.
Okay. We'll be right back. Hello, friends. So this is happening at Target. I know we both shop at Target a lot.
Yes.
This, you'll be like, I wish I thought of this. It's crazy. And well, first of all, I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm really interested. So shoes that expand to fit growing feet.
Whoa. That would be so good for your kids. Right?
Yes. Because y'all, we are buying shoes at a pretty rapid speed.
Are you?
Yes, and like I bought, I splurged and I bought my daughter Uggs. They were really cute, but now they're too small, right? And so
Are they? You could probably sell those though.
Yes, but that's some work. But I'm just saying if they were expandable.
You know what size they are?
I think 7 or 8.
Because I could buy them from you for a friend. Not to like give to the friend, but just as like a, hey, my girlfriend who is clean, immaculate, and her daughter's amazing had these. So.
Oh, you're so sweet. But my point is, like, you want to have shoes that your kids can kind of like grow into.
Well, yeah. I mean, and also I would be like you. Like, they have to have the cool stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, these are called UNOs.
No way.
Which stands for you need one size. It features a shoe that splits into 2 sections by a Z-shaped channel, but each side remains connected by flexible fabrics. The kids version can go up half a size and retail for $35, and adult ones expand a full size, goes for $50.
Wow.
They are available in 60 colors.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Would this be good if you were pregnant? Because I know from friends, they say that their feet swell up and then their shoes hurt.
So I would say this wouldn't be good for pregnant people because your foot doesn't get longer, it gets wider.
Okay, got it.
So,
got it. That makes sense.
This would not help. But
okay.
Here's the thing with kids.
Their foot gets longer.
Well, their foot gets longer and like pebbles are going to get stuck in between. And I just don't like
Oh yeah, that's
the shoe
true.
type.
No, I
Like,
feel you. I was just
just-
thinking rocks are gonna get stuck in there.
Yes.
Actually, the on clouds that I wear a lot of. Well, maybe not so much in these ones that I have. My ones I had before. So many pebbles are getting stuck in them, and it was so annoying.
Yes, yeah. And so they play in playgrounds and stuff like that. So I don't know if I would totally do this. But I mean, hey, that's a good idea. But
How do you know when the kids grow out of their shoes? Can you tell, or do they tell you?
So I'm always checking like the front, like I'll
front
squeeze
end
the
of it,
front.
yeah.
But then they'll complain, but when they're little babies, they don't know any better. So I just had cute socks. So
I was always having a lot of shoes as a kid. I remember because I think my mom liked shoes, and then I just had a bunch.
yes. I think that, it's a whole thing, but
Yeah.
I think for adults, I don't understand why your foot would grow longer.
Yeah, that's why I was like trying to think in my head like who that would be good for. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll see how these Unos or whatever
growing, because like at one point I remember like when I went from a kid size to an adult shoe size, maybe like
yes,
so like teen,
right. But
when I
this
was
is
still
not-
growing into my shoe size.
Yeah, a lot of those comfortable shoes do not look cute.
Well, and I got a lot of shoes. Just yesterday, I broke my heel walking in.
Oh
here.
yes.
So a lot of shoes don't even hold up. Like you wear them for a season, and then they're crap anyway.
Yeah.
Expensive ones too. This isn't just cheap brands. This is like expensive shoes. Anyway, we could talk to you all day.
We could, but we have to go. So
Bye.
we'll see you next time.